Mr. Yanus, you received the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006 with the idea that we cannot live a normal life, a happy life, knowing that we can find poor people right beside us. Let me ask you, from then till now, what changed?
Well, it's still the same problem continues, particularly during the pandemic. It came out in a very, very strong way. You see globally what is happening, people losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods, losing their food because pandemic doesn't allow them to continue with their previous life. And those people who struggle to move out of the poverty line, got a little bit above the poverty line after lots of efforts have been made. Now suddenly, because of the pandemic, they're pushed down, way down. And now new people who are above the poverty line, they are also pushed below the poverty line. So this became a huge, huge change in the whole global scenario. And again, most important thing is not because of the poverty that you see happening. Also, at the same time, enormous wealth being accumulated at the top, while people, millions and even billions of people losing their income, losing their food, at the same time, during this pandemic period, made trillions of dollars additional wealth. So this is the kind of system we built. So what I'm trying to draw attention to, that whole system is designed in the wrong way, because wealth is running away from people. 99% of the people are at the bottom. 1% of the people are way up in the sky and have 99% of the wealth. And their wealth is increasing, while the 1% wealth of the 99% people is decreasing even from the 1%. So that's absolutely wrong thing. Not only globally it's true, country by country it's true. In each country, in Brazil, in Bangladesh, in India, China, wherever you look at, the wealth is moving up and poor people are left behind. So there's a big gap, big wide gap between the people and the wealth. I said, what I'm saying, we need to redesign the system so that the wealth and people can stay together. They don't separate from each other. That's the thing that we have to do during the pandemic time, because it's become totally intolerable.
And how was the beginning of this concept, offering loans to very poor people, the microfinance?
Simple. I was teaching in the university, and we are hit by a big famine in the country. We are a very poor country at that time, extremely poor. And we had famine. People are dying of hunger because they couldn't eat a handful of meal that they could feed themselves. They didn't have that. So seeing that happening, and I thought my subject, the economics that I teach, is a useless subject because this subject doesn't teach me how to help the poor people. So I thought I should go on my own way to see if I can make myself useful to the poor people in some way. I don't know how, because economics never taught me how to do that. So I said, as a human being, I should learn by doing it, going to the poor people, see if there's something I can do, even a tiny, tiny little thing, even for one person. So that's what I started doing. And I started learning about people, about poverty, about the village, and so on. After months and about a year later, I saw the people suffering by the loan shark. Poor people need little money. They go to the loan shark, take the money, and the loan shark take away everything they possess. So I said, that's terrible. And I see the sad thing happening right in front of my eyes. I see the people who are suffering. They're telling their stories, terrible stories, how everything is taken away by the loan shark. So I was thinking how to protect these people from the loan shark. So one idea that I came up with, why don't I lend the money myself so that they don't have to go to the loan shark? And I started doing that. So I started lending a very small amount of money, $5, $10, $20. People needed very small amount of money to survive, to do the things they needed to do. And I started giving the money out of my own pocket. And they loved it. And I started continuing to expand it. They are paying me back, because it's just one thing I said, I'm not charging you anything, but you have to pay me back whatever money I give you. Once you give me back, you can take more. And that's what started. Then I created a bank called Grameen Bank, or a village bank, to do the same thing. It became a nationwide bank. The whole thing became known as Microcrédito, small loans for poor people, particularly focusing on women. So today it's a global phenomenon, including in Brazil. There's a lot of microcredit programs in the country, around the world, including the United States and many other countries.
Last year, how much money you lent? Can you tell us?
Yes, in Grameen Bank, we have over 9 million borrowers. 97% are women. We lend out over $3 billion in Bangladeshi currency. And our repayment rate is over 97%, 98%. We had no problem getting the money back.
Yes, it's important to differentiate that from charity, especially here in Brazil, because we have a very strong Catholic culture. Is there any problem with charity?
Yes, I've been talking about this many years. Charity is a wonderful thing. This is what saved billions of people on this planet years and years. But the only thing that is missing in the charity money goes out, helps the people they're intended for, but the money doesn't come back. So you have only one-time use of the money. So what I'm suggesting, as I did in Grameen Bank and many other organizations I created a business not to make money, but to help people solve their problem. And I call them social business. It's a non-dividend company to solve people's problem. Unlike the conventional business where you want to maximize profit. So we have undone that. We said we create a business not to make profit, but to solve problems. So we call them social business. So we now have three options. You can either go into regular business to make money. You can make tons of money out of it. Or you can go into charity, help people, give money to people to help them. Or you can create social business to help the people and get the money back. And then use it again and again and again. So I keep saying that charity money has one life. Social business money have endless life. Same money can be used again and again. So you have a very powerful money to do the things for the people that you intend to do. So between charity and social business, I see social business very powerful. And I've been talking with the Catholic Church also. I've been talking to the Pope. He has invited me several times. I discussed with him. He likes the idea of social business. So, we have many meetings in the Vatican City and also there in the San Francisco. Pope has guided me to go to the Pope Francis guided me to go to teach in the church to explain what the social business is all about.
It's interesting that since the beginning, you always had this focus, empowering the poor, but especially women. And you were maybe the first one to think about this. Why that?
Well, people get into situations where they come up with something. This is what happened. And I saw women are suffering more than the men within the family. Even when the famine comes, men usually leave the family to protect himself, find something else. But the women never leave the family and the children. So women always cling to the children. So the children have to be cared for. She not only has to take care of herself, she has to take care of all the children she has because man doesn't care for the children. So she has all the extra burden. So we thought once we can enlarge our thing and then bring this thing to the poor people, particularly focusing on women, their livelihood can be ensured and their life can be changed. And we focused that and it happened. And they took it very seriously. They turned out to be real big entrepreneurs. They worked very hard to make sure they're successful in business. So and when the idea of microcredit spread around the world, everywhere it was focused on women. Today we have Grameen America in the United States. We work in 15 cities in the United States with 25 branches. We have over 140,000 borrowers in this Grameen America. 100% women. Every one of them is women, extremely poor women, but we gave them the money with no collateral, nothing, no ID card, no citizenship, no papers, but we give them the money. They pay us back. And over the 12 years that we are working in the United States, their repayment rate has remained over 99%. So this is how the women take it very seriously for their life, for their children, for everything.
You already talked a little bit about the social business, but I'd like to go a little bit deeper now because you do partnership with big companies, big corporations. And is it difficult to explain your ideas, your concept of social business to a big company that only cares, at least that's what we think, in profits?
Yeah. I speak to everybody. They invite me, all the big business conferences, they invite me to speak. And I tell them, look, you make money, that's your job. But you can also create business to solve people's problems. You don't have to walk away from that. You have CSR money, you want to give money to the people so that you can, things that you couldn't do within your company. Why don't you create social business with your CSR money? You have foundations, you have trust, you want to be helpful to people. I said, when you have the foundation, put the money in the foundation to make it available for social businesses to be built to solve the problem of healthcare, solve the problem of environment, solve the problem of water, solve the problem of housing, so many things to be solved. So they feel encouraged. Some of them feel encouraged at least, so they came forward. And that's how we have joint ventures with Danone to address the problem of the malnutrition among the children of Bangladesh. So we created Danone Food Company to produce yogurt with all the micronutrients which are missing in the children, put in the yogurt and make it a very healthy yogurt. So make it very cheap, because in social business, you don't need any frills, any advertisement, anything. Just make it very simple way of marketing and so on. So cost comes down, and so that it's affordable for the poor people, so that they can buy it and their children can eat it. And the company gets the money back without any loss. And then it can continue to produce more and more and expand and so on. So this is the idea that social business we have done with Danone. Then we have with Uniqlo. We have done it in McCain. McCain is a very interesting one. They are the potato business people. We discussed them, and they're very interested in social business. So they created a social business out of potato, because about 40% of the potato is thrown away because that's not the right shape for French fry. They buy the potato which gives you the maximum number of French fry. If it is not the right shape, it's a crooked a little bit, you don't get the maximum number, so you don't buy it. So 40% of the potato is just thrown away. It's not done. So what they have done, now they have started buying back those thrown away potatoes. Farmers are very happy, they get some money from the throwaway potato. What they have done, they started producing a potato soup. See, potato is a good food. So you don't need to have all the potatoes turned into French fry. There are many other uses. So they started doing potato soup. And then they expanded their business to go into vegetables. So started buying vegetables. Again, 1/3 of the vegetables are thrown away because people don't buy the irregular shaped vegetables in the supermarket. They want their banana to be perfect. If you say a little bit D-shaped banana, nobody wants to buy it. A cucumber has to be correct shape. If it is a little crooked, fat on one end and thin on another end, nobody buys it. So these are thrown away. These are known as ugly vegetables. So what McCain is doing is buying these throwaway vegetables and turn them into vegetable soups and turn them into chopped up vegetables. Once you chop them up, you don't know what shape it was. And it's a very ready to cook food, and make it nice little packages, and people buy it. It's cheap because people can buy it from the farmers because it's throwaway vegetables. So they buy it and make it very easy vegetable soups and so on. They're selling it in Europe right now. So this is how each idea has to do, because something they can easily do. Simply, they never put their mind into it. Now the idea of social business suddenly make them awake that yes, I can do something, and it doesn't hurt my business or anything, but I can do something very concrete.
Do you think this social business is somehow related to the idea of ESG so strong day by day in companies around the world? Or this environmental, social, and governance worries are just marketing?
Yeah, these are marketing. It's just to say something that we're doing. As long as you are profit maximizing, only thing you see is profit, nothing else. You sniff profit, you dream profit, you smell profit. So that's what you are. No matter what ESG and everything else you say, these are only kind of greenwashing, so that people, you can talk about something. If you are so serious about it, why didn't you create a social business on the side? You run this business, what do you do? But create a social business where you don't want to make money right away. And you want to make sure define it, and everybody can find it out from your balance sheet, whether they're taking any profit out of it or not. So here, ESG, you don't know what is it. Everybody you hire a good media person, they will give you good narration, how wonderful contributions you're making. You can be a fossil fuel company, and they will be talking about ESG too. But you know what they're doing, destroying the whole world. So those are the kind of problems with ESG. Maybe some businessmen are serious about it, but they have a limitation. Even if you're serious, your shareholders want the maximum profit. They don't care about ESG. If you're in the stock market, all they understand what the stock market price of the company is. They don't care about ESG. So when you look at the share market results, they are not. These guys are ESG people. Their shareholding is a little low. The price is low. People will not forgive you. They want your price to be highest possible, and if it goes up, the shareholders are very happy with it. So you're forced to do things which is not something that you intended to do, but you're forced to do. So you don't have a very safe place to talk, actually do something related to the world and the people on this planet.
And listening to you, we can understand that you want to change the bank system, you want to change even the capitalism, but also you want to change the way our schools work and educate our children. What's wrong at this moment with our education?
Our education is only repeating what we are doing, the kind of orienting our young people to do the same thing. So we are repeating the same thing. We create those same old institutions, banks, businesses to maximize profit and so on. But they are not told about the new ways of doing things. I said during the pandemic, at least we have an opportunity to challenge the old thinking. And I kept insisting that if you go by the old road, as the education system does, it tells you, familiarizes you with the old roads. If you go by the old roads, you always end up with the old destination. Old road will never take you to a new destination. I said, if you want to go to a new destination, you have to build new roads. And that's what our education system has to do. Abandon all the things we teach in the classroom, that profit maximization will solve everything. GDP growth is the thing that we do. I said, what is GDP growth? GDP growth is for the rich people because the growth only belongs to them. Poor people never see any growth. So what do we do with the GDP growth? And then when I say rich people, these are only 5%, 10% people. What about the 95% of the people? This GDP don't touch them. So why are we running after the GDP growth? We want the growth of the people. We don't want the concentration of the wealth by the GDP growth. GDP growth only helping the concentration of the wealth. I said, do we have to design system where wealth would be distributed all across the population, not just a few people, so that the people at the bottom 20% of the people will have 20% of the wealth. As simple as that. That's what the wealth distribution should be. And we have to redesign the economic system like that. So our education system teach the students how to achieve that, how to make sure we achieve zero carbon emission so that we don't have global warming. What are the things we do through our business to make this world unlivable? Because after all the global warming is created by the businesses. So now with the fossil fuel, with the plastics, with all the things that we see, and every company is trying to ignore these things and creating using fossil fuel and so on, and making this planet unlivable. I said our house is burning. The entire house, the world is burning, but inside the house we are having party, celebrating our growth, celebrating our technological superiorities, technological achievements, and so on. But we forget that the house is burning. Very soon we will be turned into ash. We will not survive in this planet. I said we are in a death path. We are in the suicidal path. So our school, our education has to teach young people that we have to take a different path. We have to build the new roads to go to the world of 3 zeros. Zero net carbon emission, that's our goal should be. And we have to learn within the school how to achieve that. And zero wealth concentration to end poverty once for all. And that's how to achieve that. What kind of theoretical framework we have to do so that we can achieve is zero wealth concentration. There is no wealth concentration at all. And how to achieve zero unemployment by unleashing the entrepreneurship in all of us. Our education system teach our young people to become job seekers. I said, that's a shame. Human beings are not born to work for somebody else. Human beings are independent people. We are born as entrepreneurs, but our school teach how to become a good job seekers, how to apply for a job, how to appear in a job interview. These are what we talk about. How to work in a company. I said, well, you don't have to tend to be a slave. We are not slaves. We are independent people. We do things because we want to achieve something in our lifetime. Our life is a very limited period of time. So within this lifetime, we want to do something which will touch people's life. We want to redesign the entire world, redefine the entire world in a different way, and create that world and make it happen. That's what the education system should be doing.
And how technology improved all your ideas, your concept, and helped on this fight against inequality. I don't mean only the internet, the digital economy, but evolution in agriculture, materials.
Everything. I mean, technology is useful in every single way. The way we're talking right now is technology. I'm here in Bangladesh inside my home. You are in the studio in Brazil talking to me, and we are talking to each other. So this is technology, and how during the pandemic, whole world is running with this conversations and so on, running our offices, running our things. That's the technology. How we save our people, how to create vaccines. That's the technology. But an ugly thing about the vaccine is it is shielded by maximum profit, so that you can't get to it. So that way, only 1% of the population in Africa has access to vaccine. Only 4% or 5% in Bangladesh have vaccines so far because the limitation of the vaccines, because they are protecting their right to make maximum profit. So they are playing profit against the people. This is again misuse of the technology, misuse of the concept of market and so on and so forth, where they want to make profit at the cost of the lives of people. Millions of people will die because there's no vaccines available for them. We are asking for removal of the intellectual property right so that it becomes patent free. Anybody can produce anywhere. Brazil could produce any number of vaccines because Brazil has the capacity, Bangladesh has the capacity, India has the capacity, Africa has the capacity to produce their own vaccine, provided you remove the patent right. Then it becomes a product produced by every single country, and then an enormous number of vaccines can be produced. At the rate we are going now with the vaccine, it will take 57 years to vaccinate the people in the world. And by that time, we'll be all dead. So now, in order to make it immediate, that's a very important thing. So these are the kind of things, technology being misused by guided something. And they have the artificial intelligence. I said, that's a wrong thing when artificial intelligence replaces human being and work. And artificial intelligence will not allow anybody to work anymore because everything is done by artificial intelligence in much better and cheaper way for the business people, so that they will all go for the artificial intelligence. I said, that's a terrible technology. We should stop it right now. I said, technology can be a blessing. Technology can be a curse. Artificial intelligence, when it is used to remove people from work, then it becomes a curse. We don't want to produce technology to become a curse for human beings. We want it as a blessing. When artificial intelligence is used for saving people, for medical purposes, for surgery, for identifying, diagnosing your disease and so on, that's a blessing. But it's used in a wrong way, and it's coming very quickly, replacing human being on all the jobs. So this is the kind of thing. Technology can be good, technology can be terrible. So we have to be very careful. And technology can deprive you, make you work for the rich people because they control the technology, or technology can help the poor people to get the income, to be self-reliant and make things happen. And the finance, which is not available before, can be made available by use of the technology and so on. But intention of designing those things is important. Technology doesn't have its own mind. Technology is a kind of a mechanism which is ordered by human being to do something. So it's a human mind which does the work. If human mind is working also just to extract money from you and make maximum profit, technology will help you to become super rich. And that's what the technology is doing right now. So we have to design technology which bring the wealth to the people, not take the wealth to the rich people.
Mr. Yanus, it's very interesting, the idea of a banker receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. And having that in mind, I'd like to ask you to let a message to our Brazilian audience, because we still have a huge inequality in our country.
Well, we have inequality every country. Any country you touch is an extreme inequality. You start with the United States, extreme inequality. You come to any poor country, it's extreme inequality, or any country anywhere. So there's extreme inequality right there. That's what I was saying. Global thing is 1% of people owning 99% of the wealth of the entire world. So this is what it is, because it's a product of the thinking that we have. The organizations or the institutions that we build, like the financial institution. Financial institution always mopping up all the money to give it to the rich people. And the rich people become more rich. And that's what they are doing. And we, as independent persons, millions and billions of us, we work for the big companies. And we feel very happy that we are working for the big companies. What are we doing? We are sacrificing ourselves. We are just being their slave to help them make more money. So we are actually supporting them accumulate more money by offering our talent, our work, our hard work to make them super rich. So that's why we said if we become all of us can become entrepreneur, which naturally we are born as entrepreneur. If our education system told us that we are entrepreneurs, and our financial system designed finance so that any young person starting the life has entry to finance so that he or she can become entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship needs financing. Finance is the oxygen of entrepreneurship. If you provide that oxygen, people become entrepreneur. If you deny that oxygen, people become nobody. They have to just offer their body to work for somebody else. That's what the finance does. So we have to redesign our financial system so that finance can be brought to every single person. That's what we did when we create Microcrédito, Bank and all that, to bring it to turn them into entrepreneurs. When we give to millions of women all the finance that we have been doing with this Microcrédito, not to help them to find a job, but to encourage, but turn them into entrepreneurs. So all these millions of people around the world who had access to microcredit became entrepreneur. Some people say, well, not everybody is entrepreneur. I said, don't tell me that, because I've been working with the poor people, illiterate people, rural women. They take the money and turn themselves into entrepreneur. They don't go to school to learn that. It's natural to human being. If millions and millions of women all around the world can become entrepreneur with $50 loan, $100 loan, everybody's entrepreneur. That's a proven for it, absolutely without any debate about it. So how to turn them into entrepreneur? So that's what we should be doing rather than helping this flight of the wealth for the rich people on the outer space where they're living right now. People on the planet, they don't have any access to all this wealth.
And how this is related with peace?
So peace is about being able to satisfy what you want to do, live with yourself with the happiness that you don't have to fight with anybody else. That's a peace. Peace is not something, absence of war. Absence of war is another kind of thing. But peace that I feel comfortable. I feel right. I am not treated badly. If all the wealth is going to the top 1% of the people and I get nothing, I won't be in peace. I'll be asking that question. I'll be marching on the street. I'll be having lots of kind of political ideas and right ideas, wrong ideas, and kill each other. And that's for the explosive part of it. When you say this wealth concentration is okay, people have money, so what's the problem with you? The problem is people will be challenging themselves. Why they have all the money and I don't have? I work harder than them. How come I don't get anything? They got everything else. Is he a superior person than I am? No, he's not superior person than I am. I'm just like any other person. So he is like any other person. So that creates social tension. That is an explosive thing. So unless we can address this, unless we can address this kind of situation, people will not be in peace. Peace is that I get my rightful thing and I live in dignity. I get everything that I wanted to do, achieve my goals. I can live with my neighbor peacefully, and I have no grudge about against them. So that's a peace that we want to establish. And that's a world of peace when we have no global warming, we have no unemployment, and we have no wealth concentration.
Muhammad Yanus, thanks a lot for your talk. Thanks a lot for the lessons.
Thank you. Thank you very much for interviewing me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. O que nós acompanhamos ao longo de toda a tarde foi uma demonstração do que a criatividade pode produzir diante das dificuldades. Uma revolução está em curso e o futuro do país passa por ela. O primeiro dia do Fórum de Economia CNN, Desafios de um Brasil Essencial, termina agora. Nos encontramos amanhã a partir das 3 horas da tarde. E é claro que eu espero você. Até lá!